In my last video, I showed the design and construction of Bug, my remote control robotic car, and now I want to show the design of the remote I was using to control it with. In this video, I'm going to go over the physical design, the code, the assembly process, and show some examples of how this remote works. Here you can see the CAD model for this build. On the front, I have standoffs for mounting the control board and the joysticks, as well as recesses for press fitting the potentiometers into. On the top, I have cutouts for the right and left trigger limit switches, as well as the on-off switch, and on the back side, there's a cutout for mounting the battery pack. I've also included some through holes for routing the wires from the battery pack and the limit switches to the control board. Here is the Arduino program for this project. Up top, I have all of the required components, as well as how they're wired to the Arduino. I include the library for the NRF24L01 radio transceiver that I'll be using for communication. I define the connections to all my joysticks, buttons, and potentiometers. Define the pin modes for these components, and for the buttons, I define this as input pull-up, so I don't have to use a pull-up or pull-down resistor. And then the main loop of this program is reading in values from the joysticks, potentiometers, and buttons, converting this data into bytes, and then packaging it up and sending it out. Now with all that out of the way, let's get on to the build. Here you can see the serial plotter for another Arduino running a receiver program. Right now no data is being received, but once I flick on the controller, we can see a string of zeros start to come in. As I move the joysticks, I get responses both for the up and down motion as well as left and right. I also have response for clicking in the joystick, clicking in the left bumper, and for analog control, I have these knobs down at the bottom of the remote. In this video, I've used Bug as an example of what this remote can be used for, but I've designed it in a way that it will work for any number of applications. In fact, Bug is only using 3 of the available 10 controls. In total, the remote has 4 directional controls from the joysticks, 4 Boolean controls from the buttons, and 2 analog controls from the knobs. This leaves plenty of room for Bug to evolve and gain new functionality through modules, while still being fully controllable with this remote. Since the remote merely sends out an array of bytes, this can be used to universally control a large range of robots without changing the programming or layout of the controller.